about such a centralization of power through welding of heart as could not be matched anywhere in the world. But the natural consequence of centralizing power by law will be at our country, which has all alone opposed fascism, even today we claim to strongly oppose it, will gradually move towards fascism. Form of autonomy is now being made available to villages after the 73rd Amendment of the Constitution. Article 40 of the Constitution, which enshrines one of the directive principles of state policy, lays down that the state shall take steps to organize village panchayats and endow them with such powers and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as unit of self-government. Under this, the villages enjoy autonomy in the following issues: Gram Sabha, direct elections, reservation of seats, holding elections, constitution of panchayats, etc. Examples of debate on fundamental rights. In the context of right, the equity, if was decided to legally put an end to the practice of untorturability, let us read the part of the discussion on fundamental rights, different viewpoints. Untouchability is any form is abolished, and the imposition of any disability only on that account shall be an offense. Untouchability is nothing but the symptom of the disease, namely the caste system. Unless we can do away with the caste system, although there is no use tinkering with the problem of untouchability superficially, sometimes it means merely taking a glass of water, and sometimes it has been used in the sense of admission of Harijans into temples. Sometimes it meant intercaste dinner, sometimes intercaste marriage. Mahatma Gandhi, who is the main exponent of untouchability, has used it in the various ways and on different occasions with different meaning. Moreover, untouchability means different things in different areas. In Bengal, untouchability means one thing, while in other provinces it means an entirely different thing. Constitution and social engineering. The makers of Indian Constitution confronted the fact that Indian society was ridden with inequality, injustice and deprivation, and was victim of colonial policies which had exploited its economy. Thus, the Constitution had to facilitate social change and also development. The Constitution thus has many provisions facilitating social change. We have read about abolition of untouchability. The best example for this is provision for reservation for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the Constitution. So, the Constitution makers provided a number of special measures to protect the interests of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, such as reservations of seats in legislatures. The Constitution also made it possible for the government to reserve public sector jobs for these groups. The Constitution also has in it the directive principles of state policy, which sets main social system before the government. One important aspect of the social engineering is the problem of the right of minorities. The sad experience of separation of Jewish minority in Nazi Germany weighed in the minds of the constitution makers. They decided to give special protection to the minority community so that they do not feel marginalized by the majority. The Constitution today. The constitutional makers were aware that laws will have to be amended from time to time. Thus, it laid down the provisions for amending the laws and the articles in the Constitution as well. Often, laws can be made with approval of more than half the members in legislative houses. However, amending the articles in the Constitution can be initiated only by the Parliament, and it needs the approval of 2/3 members in both the houses of Parliament, that is, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and some articles may be amended only with acceptance from the state legislature as well. From the graph 1, it shows that the number of amendments that were made from 1951 to 2013. From 26 January 1950 to 2013, nearly 99 amendments were made in our Constitution. Major changes in the Constitution were made during 1970s. First among them is the inclusion of 2 words into the preamble of the Constitution: secular and socialist. Many words in the preamble like equality, liberty, justice, etc. emphasize the values of secularism and socialism, and hence these words were added. The second major event in the life of Indian Constitution has been a Supreme Court judgment popularly known as Keshavananda Bharati case. It was argued here that certain provisions in the Indian Constitution cannot be changed under any circumstances. One among them is the fundamental right. In the judgment on Keshavananda Bharati case, Supreme Court argued that there are certain basic principles upon which the nation continues to exist. While there have been different opinions on what constitutes the basic principle across judges, a common listing could